My name is Marcus. I am 42 years old. I want to tell you a story. A story that changed my life forever. This is a story about friendship, about trust, and about the biggest mistake I ever made. I trusted the wrong person, and that person almost destroyed everything I had. 10 years ago, I owned a small restaurant. It was my dream. I worked 15 hours every day. I saved money for 10 years to open it. The restaurant was called Marcus Kitchen. It was small, but it was mine. People loved my food. They came every day. Slowly, my business started growing. I was happy. I was proud. But I was also very tired. I needed help. I needed someone I could trust. And that's when I met David. David came to my restaurant looking for a job. He was 25 years old. He was friendly. He smiled a lot. He told me he loved cooking. He told me he wanted to learn from me. Marcus, he said, I will work hard. I promise. I looked at him. He seemed honest. He seemed kind. I decided to give him a chance. At first, David was perfect. He arrived early. He stayed late. He learned quickly. He never complained. Customers liked him. My staff liked him. I liked him too. After 6 months, I started trusting him more. I gave him keys to the restaurant. I let him open the restaurant in the morning. I let him close it at night. I even let him handle the money sometimes. David became more than an employee. He became my friend. 1 year passed. David was now my right hand. When I was busy, he managed everything. When I was sick, he took care of the restaurant. When I had problems, he listened. You can trust me, Marcus, he always said. And I believed him. I started spending less time at the restaurant. I thought, David can handle it. I started taking days off. I spent time with my family. I felt relaxed for the first time in years. My restaurant was doing well. David was taking care of everything. What could go wrong? But I didn't notice something. Something was changing. David was changing. Small things started happening. Strange things. Money was missing from the cash register. Not much. Just a little. $20 here. $30 there. I asked David about it. Maybe you counted wrong, Marcus, he said with a smile. Maybe a customer didn't pay, he said. I believed him. Then, some ingredients started disappearing. Expensive ingredients. Meat. Fish. Imported spices. I asked the staff. Nobody knew anything. I asked David. Maybe someone made a mistake in the inventory, he said. Don't worry, Marcus. I will check. Again, I believed him. Some regular customers stopped coming. I asked why. One customer told me, the food is different now. Another said, the service is not the same. I was confused. I asked David. They are just old people, Marcus, he said. They complain about everything. Don't worry. I should have worried. But I didn't. Because I trusted David. I trusted him completely. One day, David came to me with an idea. Marcus, he said, you work too hard. You need a real vacation. A long one. Go away for 2 weeks. I will take care of everything. I hesitated. 2 weeks was a long time. But David looked at me with honest eyes. Trust me, Marcus, he said. You deserve a break. Go. Enjoy your life. I thought about it. My wife wanted to visit her family in another state. My children wanted to see their grandparents. Maybe David was right. Maybe I did need a break. So I said yes. I gave David complete control. I gave him access to everything. The bank accounts. The supplier's contacts. The employee schedules. Everything. Thank you for trusting me, David said. He shook my hand. He smiled. That smile was the last thing I saw before I left. I didn't know it would be the last time I saw my restaurant the same way. For the first week, everything seemed fine. I called David every day. How is everything? I asked. Perfect, Marcus. Don't worry. Enjoy your family. I relaxed. I spent time with my wife. I played with my children. I forgot about the restaurant. But on day 8, something felt wrong. I tried to call David. No answer. I tried again. Still no answer. I called the restaurant phone. No one picked up. My heart started beating faster. Something was wrong. I could feel it. I drove back home immediately. It took me 6 hours. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I just drove. When I arrived at my restaurant, I couldn't believe my eyes. The restaurant was closed. In the middle of the day. On a Friday. Our busiest day. The lights were off. The door was locked. There was a sign on the window. Closed until further notice. My hands were shaking. I opened the door with my key. I walked inside. The restaurant was empty. The kitchen was a mess. Food was rotting in the refrigerator. Dishes were piled in the sink. Tables were dirty. Chairs were broken. I walked to my office. I opened the safe. Empty. I checked the bank account on my computer. Almost empty. $47,000 was missing. David had taken everything. I sat in my empty restaurant. I couldn't move. I couldn't think. I just sat there. Then, my phone rang. It was Maria, one of my employees. Marcus, are you back? She asked. Yes, I said quietly. I'm so sorry, Marcus. I tried to call you. What happened, Maria? She told me everything. David had been stealing for months. He took money every day. He sold our ingredients to other restaurants. He fired our best employees and hired his friends. He served bad food to customers. He was rude to people. He told everyone that he was the owner. That I was just an investor. But the worst part? On my 8th day of vacation, David disappeared. He took all the money from the safe. He took equipment from the kitchen. He even took my recipes. My secret recipes that took me years to create. And then he opened his own restaurant. 3 blocks away. Using MY recipes. Using MY money. Using MY name and reputation. I went to David's new restaurant. I walked inside. He was there, wearing an expensive suit. Smiling. Talking to customers. When he saw me, his smile disappeared. Marcus, he said. What are you doing here? You stole from me, I said. I trusted you. I gave you everything. He looked at me with cold eyes. You were stupid, Marcus, he said. You trusted too much. You gave me the opportunity. I just took it. This is business, he said. You should have been smarter. You should have watched me closer. He wasn't sorry. He wasn't ashamed. He was proud. I looked at him. This person I called my friend. This person I trusted like a brother. And I understood something important that day. I didn't fight David. I didn't shout. I didn't call the police. Why? Because I learned something more valuable than money. I learned that not everyone deserves your trust. I learned that kindness can be mistaken for weakness. I learned that some people see your goodness as stupidity. David was not my enemy. David was a fool. A fool with opportunity. And I was a fool too. A fool who trusted without thinking. You see, the wise people say, be careful with a foolish friend. They can hurt you more than your enemy. An enemy, you watch. An enemy, you expect to attack. But a foolish friend? You give them keys. You give them access. You give them power. And when they are not wise, they destroy everything. Even if they don't mean to. Even if they don't plan to. Foolish people make foolish decisions. And those decisions hurt the people who trust them. I started again. I rebuilt my restaurant. It took time. It took money. It took strength. But I did it. And I became wiser. Now I trust carefully. Now I watch closely. Now I protect what is mine. I still help people. I still give opportunities. But I also set boundaries. I also verify. I also protect myself. Today, my restaurant is bigger than before. My reputation is stronger. My life is better. David's restaurant closed after 1 year. So I ask you, who do you trust in your life? Are they wise? Are they honest? Are they loyal? Remember this. Trust is a gift. Give it carefully. Protect it strongly. Because a foolish friend can hurt you more than any enemy. Choose your friends wisely. Because stealing someone's recipes doesn't make you a good chef. Taking someone's money doesn't make you a good businessman. And betraying someone's trust doesn't make you successful. It just makes you alone. Where are you listening from? Share your story in the comments. Have you ever trusted the wrong person? If this story helped you, like this video and subscribe. More true stories coming soon.